Question number 5. What is your understanding of the relationship between the council and the township manager? Do you think that Verona's current council and manager reflects your belief? We'll start with Mr. Roman.
Thank you. The main job of the town council is to manage the manager. Their job number one. For several years now, what we've seen is that a lot of members of the township council have shown that they are either unwilling or unable to do so. Nobody can say that Joe Martin does not bring a wealth of knowledge to the table. The man absolutely knows how to make the gears of government grind. The problem is that when you leave someone with as strong of a personality as he has, essentially unsupervised, he's going to fill that leadership back to himself. That's how we ended up where we are today. Mr. Martin controls the agenda from beginning to end, and 3 members of the township council go along with it. His budgets are passed mostly unaltered. If he doesn't want an ordinance passed, such as a steep slopes ordinance, for example, it just never ends up on the council agenda. We're a council manager form of government. It's a system of checks and balances. That's why we have both entities here. Remember, in our case, our manager is actually not a resident of the township of Verona. He does not pay Verona taxes. So there's almost a higher obligation to supervise him more directly than we are doing right now. I asked him recently to start complying with state law that actually mandates that he tells the town council anytime that we hire someone or that anyone leaves. This actually happens in every town that surrounds us except Verona. The answer I got was, we'll look into it. Nobody else on the council seems even slightly bothered by the fact that people get hired here, that their salaries get set without budget authorization, and that we just kind of make the paperwork catch up later. I think that's an actual problem. What I want is I want a manager who's willing to forge a better relationship with the council. I want him to build consensus amongst all members of the council. I don't want him to stop when he has 3 votes. And in general, I want the council to take back control. I want the mayor to run the meetings. I want the budget to take line item review from all the council members. I want passage of necessary ordinances to be initiated by the council members with advice from the attorney. And I'm willing to reestablish that relationship of supervisory authority over the town manager. That's the first thing that I want to do, and my strongest point here is to say that the town council needs to manage the manager. He needs to be the administrator, and he needs to carry out policy as set by the council. Thank you.
Mr. Sapienza.
My relationship is just he's the town manager, I'm a member of the town council. I've worked together with the town manager, Mr. Martin, over the last 7.5 years. You know, every day hasn't been a smooth sailing day with me either. I just don't feel that I need to go before, before this during the council meeting and make my opinions known. I make my opinions known to him often, and I make my opinions known that I don't agree with certain things or I agree with other things. So he's a man that has 40+ years experience in municipal government. Do I think that we need to, at times, get some more control? I do agree. And do I work on that in a private room? Absolutely. So do I feel as though there are times that he may overstep his bounds? That may happen, but he is the town manager, and I don't agree with some problems that we have. But I have been working with him, and I have been speaking with him privately on other issues. So I do think we need to work together and try to get things moving forward.
Thank you. Mr. Nachumson.
Thank you. Verona has an interesting form of government. We're under the Faulkner Act, and we have a town manager as sort of the, let's say, point man in the town. He's full-time. But where I fault the council is we need a strong council. And I ran 4 years ago to change the direction of the council and enhance the strength of the council. The council, a strong council sets policy. The manager implements the policy. So for people to understand that, that's like being on a cruise ship. The council sets the coordinates and tells us where we want to go, and the manager gets us to where we want to go. We've had a weak council for years, and without a strong council, without 3 votes, which is exactly what I'm running on, along with Councilman Ryan, we need 2 additional votes to support him. 3 votes dictate the coordinates where we're going. And a strong council sets policy, tells the manager where we want to go, and he implements it. Now, there are certain tenets within the manager's code of conduct where the manager is supposed to be receptive, he's supposed to be honest, he's supposed to be transparent. If I didn't mention objective, I mean objective, non-political, supposed to generate consensus, he's supposed to gather information and facilitate progress and reach out and share information. This is not occurring. There's too much grind in this game, and I think the behavior at times is appalling. I've stood up to it, I will continue, but this election's all about a strong council, putting the strength in the council, representing the taxpayers in Verona, and taking this council and the town in a new direction, a direction where we're friendly, we're open, we're transparent, we're dialoguing, we're communicating, and we're sharing information on a regular basis. And it's a privilege, again, to work for the town. It's an obligation for us to pay our taxes. So we need a strong council.
Mr. Williamson?
Without a doubt, Joe Martin has not the best of bedsides manner. Neither does my cardiologist, but I haven't died again either. Seems to me that we're okay with a 3-2 as long as it's 3-2 the other side. I think it's terrible that all we do is sit there and listen to these guys argue about 3-2. I want 3-2, but I want to get 3-2 on my side. We should be working to 5-0. We got to put this petty nonsense aside, personal agendas aside, and just work together. I mean, I don't know what goes on in all your closed door meetings and stuff, but it just seems to me like we're just going to set a 3-2 regardless. And if we, you know, if Councilman Nachmanson has his coup, it's going to be 3-2 the other way. We got to stop this nonsense and just work together. We're all in this together. If the council can't, you know, just because somebody agrees with Joe, well, they're weak. Well, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. If you disagree with them, you're fighting for the taxpayer. This is a little childish stuff. I mean, we got to all play in the same sandbox, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any rebuttals?
Just a quick rebuttal. I had two.
1 minute rebuttal.
How many have I had?
Oh, you've had one.
I've had one.
This is your second.
I know, okay. And that's part of the problem, you know, you have to understand math in this business, you have to understand finances, because it's about math, it's about finances, it's about the numbers, but it's about the EQ, the human element also, and it's being respectful, and it's listening. But let me just tell you, the 3-2 is not an aggressive 3-2. The 3-2 I would love to have. We've had 5-0 votes. I applauded Joe Martin tonight on the pilot. I'm very objective with each issue. But I don't go in with a rubber stamp. I don't go in with a viewpoint. But I don't rely on Joe, and I don't depend on Joe like others do. I understand the issue. I look at things practically. I look at things with a very pragmatic approach. I talk to residents, but we make good decisions, we make wise decisions, and I understand what goes on, and we have to go in a different direction. We've been in the wrong direction with the wrong message for 8+ years. I think 3 votes in a new direction, maybe 4 or 5, would be wonderful, but we need to think on our own.
Thank you. Any other rebuttals?